When I was about, must have been 17, 18, remember studying for my A levels, and I at the period of time was playing a lot of Dark Souls 2, and I was loving Dark Souls 2, and I'd replayed the game once and I'd beaten it, as though people said that it's not the best Souls game, and it certainly isn't. It was a very good game, and I was just so entrenched in video games that I kept replaying it, and I kept replaying it, just different builds and trying out new things, even though there was nothing new added to the game. I still replayed it because I still hung with the same satisfaction the game gave me. I still wanted to catch up my first time playing it. What I did was I had a Xbox controller, kind of like this one I have here right now, actually. And what I decided to do to stop myself from playing Dark Souls or playing big games while I was doing my A levels, I cut this wire off basically, so I couldn't use the controller. So I wasted a perfectly good controller. What do you think happened as soon as I cut that wire off? Do you think I stopped playing video games? Do you think I stopped playing Dark Souls 2? Fuck no. I learned how to play a mouse and keyboard. That's how I kept this shit going. I couldn't stop myself. The idea that if I had willpower, the idea that willpower can just kind of force you to not do something and change your habits is kind of unsympathetic to it, how complicated the mind is and how like we look for things and familiar patterns of behavior that keep us not stable or entrenched in repeating patterns of behavior. Willpower is it's like a muscle, or the way I understand it, it's like a muscle. It's something you train really, and it isn't something you train by trying to remove the source of distraction, like cutting the cable off the game controller. Didn't stop me playing video games. I just learned another way to do it, and I played Dark Souls 2 even while revising with a keyboard and mouse because even though yeah, that's the kind of person I am. That's the kind of way my willpower manifests. But nowadays, what I do instead, rather than just taking the things out of my life, rather than getting rid of all the junk food or crap at home. My mum buys ice cream and like donuts and things like that for my sister. All that junk food is still at home. There's crisps still in the drawer. None of the stuff's out of my life. I have this packet of digestives sitting here for about a month. Bought it back beginning of March actually. Just sitting there. I would easily devour a pack of these in one sitting. I would eat through these mindlessly, especially growing up, especially as a kid. One of these packets I would decimate and devour. Alongside that, I'd be like watching YouTube and doing other kind of just instant gratification shit, basically, or playing video games. I would destroy this shit. But right now, what I have this here, I put this on my desk. You know what? Sometimes I'll take it down. Sometimes I'll take it down. I'll smell it. I'll feel the packaging. Shit, I'm gonna start to drool out there. I'll smell the digestives and yeah, that'd be great to open them. I'm never going to open them. I look at that thing and that increases my willpower every single time I look at that pack of digestive. That's like one rep, essentially. That's in my head, like thinking, yeah, I don't need to go back and do that degenerate shit. I don't need to go back and fulfill my instant gratification. I don't need to live the way I used to. Willpower is something you can really strengthen, and it's not by removing the things you're distracted from in your environment. Hell, I don't even know if something like that would work for drugs or anything way more severe in using. But if that works for sugar for me, and chocolate, then that's a good step in the right direction. But yeah, I still have my Xbox controller here. I don't play games every day. I try and keep it down for weekends. I'm doing well so far, but I keep it plugged in right next to me there. It's just sitting on my computer, my screen there. It's sitting there. I can see it, I can look at it, I can pick it up, I can control it, but I don't pick up video games. I'd love to sit and tell you I've quit video games completely, but I'm still in the process of getting out, man. I'm still in the process of getting out because they've been so entrenched in my psyche for a long time. But I'm making wins with that digestive packet right there. I'm making so many wins there, so I'm grateful to be having this realization that willpower is something that can be trained. It can't be something that you can rely on 100% of the time though. You do need some kind of smart mechanisms, and you need alternate sources of gratification as well. What am I replacing video games with? I'm replacing it with an hour of reading. I'm giving myself no quarter. I've tried time blocking, and I've heard it being recommended, you know what you're doing every single hour. I tried doing that once in the past, and I just kind of had a very bad memories of just failing to live up to that time blocking thing. Maybe I will get on and do that in the future, actually. Maybe I will just sit down, create an Excel document, and actually block out my time in a day, which would be really good. But the way my work is as well at the moment is very flexible and it's online, so I wouldn't be able to commit to that 100%. And I don't think the feeling of failing over and over of committing to that timetable would work for me personally. But I do think it can be a very powerful thing. Even if you don't exactly get there, you kind of aim for that middle ground. But willpower is something that can be trained. And just having those sources, those safe sources, mind you. If you're like an alcoholic or an addict, I wouldn't suggest put like a nugget of weed or some shit there, and trying to sit there and resist that shit. Because, yeah, that wouldn't work for me. I'd be smoking that shit before you know it. So that's why I wouldn't recommend doing that. But shit like chocolate, shit like video games, things that are instant gratification that are going to have kind of a bad output, but they're not going to be disastrously bad. Put them there, watch them, just don't touch them, just don't pick them up. You are going to feel so good. And interestingly enough, the last time I had that pack of digestives there, must have been last year, you know. I started eating it when I started going back into degenerate behaviors, when I started using drugs, when I started doing, you know, just degenerate shit, basically, you know. So it's interesting to see. It's a good barometer of like how you're doing. If you're able to sit there, look at that pack of digestives, and say, yeah, cool, it's there. I'm not going to touch it. And that extends to everything else around the house as well. There's like chocolate donuts and there's like packets of crisps. Shit, I'd be like eating like, you know, crazy amounts of beforehand, and now I'm just like, yeah, it's nothing to do with me. Alright, take it, guys. Remember, choose purpose over pleasure.